I was debating with myself, right? Should I read first thing in the morning? Yeah. Should I read the should I start reading this first thing in the morning when I first get up? I mean, I haven't this is not when I first got up. My wife left at like 7:30 this morning, so I've been up for about an hour now, but I was pondering to myself, should I read first thing in the morning? I was like, of course, bro. I would love to have the word on my spirit when I first get out of bed and when I move through my day. You feel me? So yeah, for sure I should read first thing in the morning. So looks like we'll be reading first thing in the morning. So if you're not a morning person, I hope you come back and find these streams later in the afternoon. Um, but this is day 4 for us. This is day 4 of 365 of the 1 Year Bible that we've been reading together. And as I get to today's pages, hope you are having a great new year and and a great morning so far. And just remember to say thank you for being able to wake up this morning. You feel me? Because you didn't have to wake up. It could have been the other way around. You feel me? So remember to be grateful for waking up this morning, getting to see a great another day. And I hope you enjoyed today's and this morning's reading from the 1 Year Bible from your boy Limitless Core, aka Chris. And in about 20 seconds, we're gonna get into today's reading. I really should have made my smoothie already, for my juice, my bev. I should have made my bev already this morning, but I'll make it as soon as I finish reading this morning, because I'll be taking my boy to the vet this morning to get his butt squeezed. So, about 2, 1. Good morning and welcome to day 4 of the 1 Year Bible. I hope you're enjoying what we read so far. And without further ado, let's get into January 4th, which is our January 2nd, because we started a little early. And this title is led off with, "The people who sat in darkness have seen a great light." Matthew 4:16. The people who sat in darkness have seen a great light. Matthew 4:16. And we're going to get into Genesis. So Genesis 8:1 through 10:32. But God remembered Noah and all the wild animals and livestock with him in the boat. He sent a wind to blow across the earth, and the flood waters began to recede. The underground waters stopped flowing, and the torrential rains from the sky were stopped. So the flood waters gradually receded from the earth. After about 150 days, exactly 5 months from the time the flood began, the boat came to rest on the mountains of Ararat. 2.5 months later, as the waters continued to go down, other mountain peaks became visible. After another 40 days, Noah opened the window he had made in the boat and released a raven. The bird flew back and forth until the flow waters on the earth had dried up. Good morning, had dried up. The bird flew back and forth to the earth. Yep. He also released a dove to see if the water had receded and it could find dry ground. But the dove could find no place to land because the water still covered the ground. So it returned to the boat, and Noah held out his hand and drew the dove back inside. After waiting another 7 days, Noah released the dove again. This time the dove returned to him in the evening with a fresh olive leaf in his beak. Then Noah knew that the flood waters were almost gone. He waited another 7 days and then released the dove again. This time it did not come back. Noah was now 601 years old. On the first day of the new year, 10.5 months after the flood began, the flood waters had almost dried up from the earth. Noah lifted back the covering of the boat and saw the surface of the ground was drying. 2 more months went by, and at last the earth was dry. Then God said to Noah, "Leave the boat, all of you, you and your wife, and your sons, and their wives. Release all the animals, the birds, the livestock, and the small animals that scurry along the ground." So they became fruitful and multiplied throughout the earth. So Noah, his wife, and his sons, and their wives left the boat. And all of the large and small animals and birds came out of the boat, pair by pair. Excuse me, chat. Then Noah built an altar to the Lord, and there he sacrificed a burnt offerings to animals and birds that had been approved for the purpose. And the Lord was pleased with the aroma of the sacrifice, and said to himself, "I will never again curse the ground because of the human race, even though everything they think or imagine is bent toward evil from childhood. I will never again destroy all living things." As long as the earth remains, there will be planting and harvest, cold and heat, summer and winter, and day and night. Good morning, good morning, day and night. Then God blessed Noah and his sons and told them, be fruitful and multiply. Fill the earth, all the animals of the earth, all the birds of the sky, all the small animals that scurry along the ground, and all the fish in the sea will look on you with fear and terror. I have placed them in your power. I have given them food. I have given them to you for food, just as I have given you grain and vegetables. But you must never eat any meat that still has life blood in it. And I will require the blood of anyone who takes another person's life. If a wild animal kills a person, it must die. And anyone who murders a fellow human must die. If anyone takes a human life, that person's life will also be taken by human hands. For God made human beings in his own image. Now be fruitful and multiply, and repopulate the earth. Then God told Noah and his sons, I hereby confirm my covenant with you and your descendants, and with all the animals that were on the boat with you, the birds, the livestock, and all the animals, every living creature on earth. Yes, I am confirming my covenant with you. Never again will flood waters kill all living creatures. Never again will a flood destroy the earth. Good morning, everybody. Then God said, I am giving you a sign of my covenant with you and all living creatures for all generations to come. I have placed my rainbow in the clouds. It is the sign of my covenant with you and all the earth. When I send clouds over the earth, the rainbow will appear in the clouds. And I will remember my covenant with you and with all living creatures. Never again will the flood waters destroy all life. When I see the rainbow in the clouds, I will remember the eternal covenant between God and every living creature on earth. Then God said to Noah, yes, this rainbow is a sign of the covenant I am confirming with all the creatures of earth on earth. The sons of Noah who came out of the boat with their father were Shem, Ham, and Japheth. Ham is the father of Canaan. From these three sons of Noah came all the people who now populate the earth. After the flood, Noah began to cultivate the ground, and he planted a vineyard. One day he drank some wine he had made, and he became drunk and lay naked in his tent. Ham, the father of Canaan, saw that his father was naked and went outside and told his brothers. Then Shem and Japheth took a robe, held it over their shoulders, and backed into the tent to cover their father. As they did this, they looked the other way so they would not see him naked. When Noah woke up from his stupor, he learned what Ham, his youngest son, had done. Then he cursed Canaan, the son of Ham. May Canaan be cursed. May he be the lowest of the servants to his relatives. Then Noah said, May the Lord, the God of Shem, be blessed, and may Canaan be his servant. May God expand the territory of Japheth. May Japheth share the prosperity of Shem, and may Canaan be his servant. Noah lived another 350 years after the great flood. He lived 950 years, and then he died. This is the account of the families of Shem, Ham, and Japheth, the three sons of Noah. Many children were born to them after the great flood. The descendants of Japheth were Gomer, Magog, Madai, Javan, Tubal, Meshech, and Tiras. The descendants of Gomer were Ashkenaz, Riphath, and Togarmah. The descendants of Javan were Elisha, Tarshish, Kittim, and Rodanim. Their descendants became the seafaring peoples that spread out to various lands, each identified by its own language, clan, and national identity. The descendants of Ham were Cush, Mizraim, Put, and Canaan. The descendants of Cush were Seba, Havilah, Sabta, Ramah, Sabteka. The descendants of Ramah were Sheba and Dedan. Cush was also the ancestor of Nimrod, who was the first heroic warrior on earth. Since he was the greatest hunter in the world, his name became proverbial. People would say, this man is like Nimrod, the greatest hunter in the world. He built his kingdom in the land of Babylonia, with the cities of Babylon, Erech, Akkad, and Calneh. From there, he expanded his territory to Assyria, building the cities of Nineveh, Rehoboth, Calah, and Resen, the great city located between Nineveh and Calah. Mizraim was the ancestor of Ludites, Anamites, Lehabites, Naphutites, Perizzites, Casluhites, and the Caphtorites, from whom the Philistines came. Canaan's oldest son was Sidon, the ancestor of the Sidonians. Canaan was also the ancestor of the Hittites, Jebusites, Amorites, Girgashites, Hivites, Archites, the Sinites, Arvadites, Zamorites, and the Hamathites. The Canaanite clans eventually spread out, and the territory of Canaan extended to Sidon in the north of Gerar and Gaza in the south, and east as far as Sodom, Gomorrah, Admah, Zobon, near Lasha. These were the descendants of Ham, identified by clan, language, territory, and national identity. Sons were also born to Shem, the older brother of Japheth. Shem was also the ancestor of all the descendants of Eber. The descendants of Shem were Elam, Ashur, Arphaxad, Lud, and Aram. The descendants of Aram were Uz, Hul, Gether, and Mash. Arphaxad was the father of Shelah, and Shelah was the father of Eber. Eber had two sons. The first was named Peleg, which means division, for during his lifetime, the people of the world were divided into different language groups. His brother was named Joktan. Joktan was the ancestor of the Omadad, Sheleph, Hazarmorath, Jerai, Hadarum, Uzo, Dikla, Obo, Abimael, and Sheba. Sheba, Ophir, Havilah, and Jobab. All these were descendants of Joktan. The territory they occupied extended from Misha all the way to Sephir in the eastern mountains. These were the descendants of Shem, identified by clan, language, territory, and national identity. These were the clans that descended from the Noah's sons, arranged by nation according to their lines of descent. All the nations of the earth descended from these clans after the Great Flood. And now, chat, I will get into the readings a little more. It breaks down where these different verses come from in different versions of the Bible. It's smaller text here, so I'll read these really quickly. 8:4, Hebrew on the seventh day of the seventh month. Excuse me. See 7:11. 8:5, Hebrew on the first day of the 10th month. See 7:11. No, on 8:4. 8:13, Hebrew on the first day of the first month. See 7:11. 8:14, Hebrew, the 27th day of the second month. Arrived. See note on 8:13. 8:20, Hebrew on every clean animal and every clean bird. 9:6, or man, Hebrew reads Ha-Adam. 9:27, Hebrew may he live in the tents of Shem. 10:4, as in some Hebrew manuscripts and Greek versions, see also 1 Corinthians 1:7. Most Hebrew manuscripts read Donanim. 10:9, Hebrew, a great hunter before the Lord, also in 10:9b. 10:10, Hebrew, Shinar. 10:11, or from the land of Assyria went out. 10:14, Hebrew, Cash-Luhites, from the Philistines came, and Katorites, compare Jeremiah 47:4, Amos 9:7. 10:15, Hebrew ancestor of Heth. Version reads, Arphaxad was the father of Canaan. Canaan was the father of Shelah. Compare Luke 3:36. And now, chat, let's get into Matthew. Matthew 4:12 through 25. When Jesus heard that John had been arrested, he left Judea and returned to Galilee. He went first to Nazareth, then he left there and moved to Capernaum, beside the Sea of Galilee, in the region of Zebulun and Naphtali. This fulfilled what God said through the prophet Isaiah. In the land of Zebulun and of Naphtali, beside the sea, beyond the Jordan River in Galilee, where so many Gentiles live. The people sat in darkness, have seen a great light. And for those who lived in the land where death cast a shadow, a light has shined. From then on, Jesus began to preach, repent of your sins and turn to God, for the kingdom of heaven is near. One day as Jesus was walking along the shore of the Sea of Galilee, he saw two brothers, Simon and also Peter, and Andrew, throwing a net into the water, for they fished for a living. Jesus called out then, come follow me, and I will show you how to fish for people. And they left their nets at once and followed him. A little farther up the shore, he saw two other brothers, James and John, sitting in a boat with their father, Zebedee, repairing their nets. He called to them too. They immediately followed him, leaving the boat and their father behind. Jesus traveled throughout the region of Galilee, teaching in the synagogues and announcing the good news about the kingdom. And he healed every kind of disease and illness. News about him spread as far as Syria, and people soon began bringing to him all who were sick, and whatever their sickness or disease, or if they were demon possessed, or epileptic, or paralyzed, he healed them all. Large crowds followed him wherever he went. People from Galilee, the 10 towns, Jerusalem from all over Judea, and from east of the Jordan River. And now let's get into um, origins of this text. 4:15 through 16, Isaiah 9 1 through 2, Greek version. 4:17, or has come or is coming soon. 4:25, Greek Decapolis. Now we're getting into Psalms, chat. So Psalms 4 1 through 8. For the choir director, a psalm of David, to be accompanied by the string instruments. Answer me when I call to you, O God who declares me innocent. Free me from my troubles. Have mercy on me and hear my prayer. How long will you people ruin my reputation? How long will you make groundless accusations? How long will you continue your lies? You can be sure of this. The Lord set apart the godly for himself. The Lord will answer when I call to him. Don't sin by letting anger control you. Think about it overnight and remain silent. Offer sacrifices in the right spirit and trust the Lord. Many people say, who will show us better times? Let your face smiles. Let your face smiles on us, Lord. You have given me greater joy than those who have abundant harvest of grain and new wine. In peace I will lie down and sleep, for you alone, O Lord, will keep me safe. Now we're getting into Proverbs 1:20 through 23. Wisdom shouts in the streets. She cries out in the public square. She calls to the crowds along the main street, to those gathered in front of the city gate. How long, you simpletons, will you insist on being simple-minded? How long will you mockers relish your mockery? How long will you fools hate knowledge? Come and listen to my counsel. I'll share my heart with you and make you wise. And that is January 5th reading for today. And now we get into a little text at the very bottom. It says, join the crowd. Just like our parents warned us, the wrong crowd will tear us down. But joining the right crowd can carry us forward. Large groups followed after Jesus, amazed at what he said and did. We also need to be part of a crowd of godly men who are following Jesus. So if you're surrounded by people who pull you down, or if your need to belong comes into conflict with the individualistic sense of independence, remember that men become godly in the company of other godly men. Find those men and join the crowd. Let's read that one more time. Join the crowd. Just like our parents warned us, the crowd will tear us down. The wrong crowd will tear us down. But joining the right crowd can carry us forward. Large groups followed after Jesus, amazed at what he said and did. We also need to be part of a crowd of godly men who are following Jesus. So if you're surrounded by people who pull you down, or if your need to belong becomes in a conflict with an individualistic sense of independence, remember that men become godly men in the company of other godly men. Find those men and join the crowd. And that is today's reading, day 4 of the 1 Year Bible. I hope you enjoyed today's reading. I hope you're having a great morning and a happy new year. And I'm going to leave you with one other thing from my notes that I wrote down here. Give me 1 second to pull it up. Right here, I don't know how or when, but I know that it will. That's one. And always keep your mind focused on the end goal. And also, always remember that it's okay. Whatever you're going through is working out. Have God in your heart. Have God with you at all times, because God is automatically with you at all times. And now it's time for the outro. We all have that limitless core, baby. I appreciate you. I might even love you, but I'm for sure glad you woke up today. And I hope you have a great rest of your day. Happy New Year once again. Happy January 2nd. I know everybody's probably going back to work today. You're probably a little busy, excuse me. But always keep in mind what your end goal is. Keep God in your heart and let the way be made for you. You feel me? So be a dutiful servant. Be dutiful to yourself. Be dutiful to God. And I'm out. I'm going to see y'all at the gym because we're going to the gym today. Thank you for the likes on the stream. Thank you for everybody who showed up and showed out in the comments, in the chat today. So I hope you have a great one. Midnight, aka if you know Ariel. And great bring your voice, Cadence and Speed. Thank you, JD. Good morning to you, Win the Killer. And hi to you, hi back to you at midnight. Y'all have a great one and peace.